The heavy wooden doors of Abu Dhabi's Moses Ben Maimon Synagogue opened to reveal America's top diplomat standing shoulder to shoulder with the UAE's chief rabbi beneath a centuries-old Torah scroll. In that suspended moment, Secretary of State Marco Rubio wasn't just conducting routine diplomacy, he was rewriting its sacred geometry. The scent of aged parchment mixed with desert frankincense as Rubio's fingers traced Hebrew calligraphy, his presence in the sanctuary representing what seemed impossible just 5 years ago, a public Jewish space on Arab soil hosting the highest-ranking U.S. official in history. This meticulously choreographed pilgrimage would soon see him transition from Jewish prayers to Islamic ablutions, his Western suit exchanged for traditional white kandura before sunset. What unfolded wasn't merely symbolic theater but a radical reimagining of faith-based statecraft that could reshape Middle East relations. Before we continue our deep dive into this diplomatic revolution, if you're finding this reporting valuable, support our independent journalism, hit that like button, subscribe for more groundbreaking analysis, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. The air vibrated with unspoken significance as Rubio entered the Abrahamic family house complex, that revolutionary architectural trifecta where mosque, church, and synagogue stand within whispering distance. Built on direct orders from UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, this marble-and-glass manifestation of coexistence represents the Emirates' audacious bet that ancient religious divides can be bridged through physical proximity. The eternal flame in this sanctuary burns brighter than political statements, Rubio murmured as sunlight filtered through stained glass depicting the Exodus story. His presence testified to seismic shifts since the 2020 Abraham Accords, transformations enabling over 500 Jewish families to now call the Emirates home. Community leaders shared stories that would astonish outsiders. Muslim neighbors helping build sukkahs during Sukkot, Emirati volunteers guarding synagogues after Hamas attacks, even young couples quietly challenging taboos through interfaith marriages. They brought us ma'mul cookies during Purim, Rabbi Levi Dutchman revealed, noting how the Arab date-filled pastries mirrored Jewish hamantashen, a delicious metaphor for cultural harmony evolving organically from political normalization. The atmosphere transformed as Rubio's motorcade approached the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque's celestial white domes. His wardrobe change spoke louder than speeches. Shedding his Western suit for the ankle-length kandura demonstrated cultural fluency transcending diplomatic protocol. Beneath the world's largest chandelier, a breathtaking cascade of Swarovski crystals and gold leaf, Islamic scholars guided him through stunning theological parallels. Near-identical purification rituals, tahara in Islam, tefillah in Judaism, parallel charitable obligations, zakat versus tzedakah, and complementary dietary laws that revealed shared ethical frameworks. "We've spent centuries arguing over utensils while eating from the same banquet," remarked scholar Dr. Omar al-Mughrabi as they walked barefoot across acres of floral-patterned marble. The timing proved masterful. Coinciding with Ramadan overlapping Passover allowed Rubio to simultaneously speak to Arab hearts about America's religious literacy, reassure Israeli hardliners about Muslim moderation, and demonstrate to global faith communities that scripture could be mightier than treaties. Behind the scenes, sources confirmed the tour aligned with sensitive Saudi normalization talks, making Rubio's deft scripture quoting particularly potent. Quran 5-32's mandate to preserve life alongside Talmudic Sanhedrin 4-5's declaration of human uniqueness. "He's bypassing governments to speak directly to religious moderates," analyzed former ambassador Ann Patterson, noting this represented a radical departure from sterile State Department traditions that historically avoided theological engagement. The pilgrimage's defining moment occurred not in sanctuaries but in the complex's lemon-scented gardens where Rubio joined young interfaith pioneers for iftar. As dusk painted Abu Dhabi's skyline in molten gold, 24-year-old Emirati medical student Aisha Al-Mansouri demonstrated her Scripture Swap app, allowing users to explore cross-religious textual parallels. "Coexistence isn't some special project, it's the oxygen we breathe," she declared, passing dates to an Orthodox Jewish coder from Haifa. Nearby, a Detroit Lutheran pastor and com-trained Shiite scholar debated environmental stewardship using tablets displaying Genesis and Quranic verses side by side. Rubio listened intently for nearly an hour before rolling up his sleeve to reveal a woven bracelet, identical to those worn by Israeli and Palestinian members of the Abraham's Tent initiative. "Your generation is scripting the next chapter," he observed quietly. "Our only job is passing you the pen." In the immediate aftermath, tangible shifts emerged that silenced skeptics. The UAE's education ministry fast-tracked its revolutionary Three Faiths curriculum for fall implementation, a pedagogical breakthrough co-developed with the Vatican and Jerusalem Shalom Hartman Institute that would teach Christianity, Islam, and Judaism as interconnected narratives rather than competing dogmas. Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund quietly invested $200 million in expanding the Abrahamic family house model, a tacit endorsement ahead of Riyadh's anticipated normalization talks with Israel. Most remarkably, grassroots interfaith platforms across the region reported membership surges exceeding 300%, from Egyptian Muslim-Jewish dialogue circles to Lebanese Christian-Islamic environmental cooperatives. These developments revealed the sophisticated theory underpinning Rubio's mission. By sanctifying rather than secularizing interfaith engagement, he'd made coexistence aspirational rather than obligatory. When the UAE's historically conservative Grand Mufti, a cleric once known for fiery anti-Zionist sermons, publicly praised Rubio's devout observance at the mosque, it created psychological permission structures for millions of moderate Muslims to embrace collaboration without fearing religious censure. Similarly, when Israel's Ashkenazi chief Rabbi David Lau commended the synagogue visit as Kiddush Hashem, sanctification of God's name, it signaled to Orthodox communities that engagement needn't compromise theological integrity. Yet the visit's enduring power lay in its quiet rebuke of secular diplomacy's limitations. For decades, Western statecraft treated religion as background noise while extremists weaponized sacred texts. Rubio's tactile engagement, touching Torah scrolls, participating in mosque ablutions, acknowledged a profound truth. In regions where politics merges with the sacred, effective statecraft must speak the soul's language. This explains why Hamas condemnation focused not on policy but accused Rubio of spiritual defilement, inadvertently revealing how threatened extremists are by interfaith solidarity. Replicas of this pilgrimage are already emerging. Jordan's foreign minister visiting Amman's restored synagogue, Bahrain's crown prince hosting interfaith iftars featuring rabbis and imams. More crucially, it empowered religious moderates with concrete evidence that coexistence fulfills rather than betrays Abrahamic imperatives. As Egypt's Grand Imam of Al-Azhar reflected, when the secretary stood where Moses and Muhammad both walked, he reminded us that God's voice whispers loudest in common ground. The indelible image wasn't staged photo ops but Rubio's unseen act after sunset prayers, helping an elderly Emirati woman navigate her wheelchair down a ramp. When she kissed his hand mistaking him for an imam, then smiled upon discovering his identity. In holy places, all God's servants wear the same robe, she distilled the mission's essence. For in recognizing that humanity's deepest chasms stem from failures of spiritual imagination, this journey offered a radical antidote. Sometimes to transform geopolitics, one must first touch the divine. As we continue bringing you groundbreaking reports from diplomacy's front lines, remember to like this video, subscribe for deeper analysis, and comment with your thoughts. Your engagement powers our independent journalism.